warm welcome to Politics and Business TV. I am Maria Ado-Zakari on Business Focus, wishing you a happy new year ahead. The Debt Management Office, DMO, revealed that the federal government between 2016 and 2022 spent about 246.11 billion naira to service debts related to projects in the railway industry. Nigerian government spent 29.98 billion naira on servicing debts for loans obtained to build the Nigeria Railway Modernization Project, Idu to Kaduna section and Lagos to Ibadan section. Railway debt servicing costs exceeded revenue by 1,208% in the first half of 2023. Until then, the total railway revenue was 2.29 billion naira, according to data from the National Bureau of Statistics. In the first quarter of 2023, a total of 441 passengers traveled on the rail system, a 53.65% increase from the 953,000 reported in the corresponding quarter of 2022. On Business Focus today, we'll be examining the pros and cons of railway system in Nigeria. Let's begin with the equity and commodity markets as of close of year 2023. Stick around.
Worried about complexities and dynamics of business in Nigeria? On Business Focus, we'll bring you insights from the forefront of industry innovation, business news, latest figures from the stock market with in-depth analysis and even market survey. Let's journey through the ever-evolving world of business and economics, where we decode the latest market moves and provide you with the knowledge to navigate the intricate web of business challenges. This is Business Focus.
Welcome back from that break. We will be looking at the equity markets. We're starting with the highest trades, and let's take a look at the highest trades. The highest trades as of close of last year. Okay, let's begin. Zenith Bank closed at 380 trades at the volume of 28,878 at the value of 1,115. UBA closed at 340 trades at the volume of 16,130 at the value of 404,627. Transco closed at 328 trades at the volume of 12,613 at the value of 108,892. Let's take a look at our top gainers as of close of last year. For our top gainers, we have Transco. Transco have 10% positive. Len Africa have 10% positive, and Multiverse have 9.95%. Let's take a look at our bottom losers as of close of last year. Bottom losers for close of last year, we have Sunu Assurance at negative 5.17, FTN Cocoa at negative 4.52, and NACO at negative 4.51%. Let's take a look at our commodity top performers. Our commodity top performers, we have live cattle topping the list at positive 1.36%. We have coal at positive 0.85%. We also have zinc at positive 0.78%. We have rice at positive 0.70%, and soybean at positive 0.65%. Let's take a look at another commodity as of close of last year. Precious metals. Gold topped the list at negative 0.12%, palladium at positive 0.00%, and platinum at negative 0.35%. Let's take a look at another commodity. We have energy. We have energy, natural gas, that's Henry Hub, at negative 1.54%. We have ethanol at positive 0.05%. We have heating oil at negative 1.70%. Another commodity, let's look at another commodity as of close of the year. We have industrial metals. Aluminum tops the list at positive 0.58%. We have lead at negative 1.09% and iron ore at positive 0.15%. Let's look at another commodity, and we have agriculture. Agriculture topping the list, we have cotton. Cotton closed the year at negative 0.04%, and oats at positive 0.39%, and lumber at negative 0.55%. The dollar closed the year at 900 and the naira closed the year at 907 per dollar at the official market, and at the parallel market the naira closed at 1034 naira per dollar as of close of the year 2023. Do stay tuned. We'll come back for the interview segment. Do stay tuned.
Worried about complexities and dynamics of business in Nigeria? On Business Focus, we bring you insight from the forefront of industry innovation, business news, latest figures from the stock market with in-depth analysis and even market survey. Let's journey through the ever-evolving world of business and economics, where we decode the latest market moves and provide you with the knowledge to navigate the intricate web of business challenges. This is Business Focus.
Welcome back from that break. We are here with FCA and a financial analyst, Mr. Wale Joshua, to analyze our rail system in Nigeria. Good morning and Happy New Year to you, Wale.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
Of the season.
I same to you.
We're looking forward to a better 2024.
Amen. Amen to that.
Yes.
Amen to that wholeheartedly. So let's dive right in, Mr. Wale Joshua. How would you assess our railway system? What's your assessment of the railway?
Well, the railway system in Nigeria is a needed sector that has been activated to start functioning. The function is expected to affect many sectors of the economy, which includes springing up a lot of nodules within the rail track lane. So, having said that, we know that railway sector infrastructure is a costly project to maintain. Maintenance, implementation, and even the construction itself is very costly. Apart from that, we need the legal system that will, the enabling system that will give the states and the regional governments a kind of avenue, a kind of platform to do a circular rail around their region, within their states, and within the geographical location. We have the commercial rail track, and we have the national rail track. The commercial rail track is expected to run within a state. If you look at Abuja, what has been our master plan in terms of the commercial rail track? If you have the commercial rail track, it will be easier to subsidize the transport services like we can observe in the Yuletide period. It will be easier to do mass transit so that you have a circular rail, you have an interstate rail which can move people from one point to the other without being costly. And if you look at it, buses and whether mini buses or the big buses, they contribute much more to carbon emission. By implication, they contribute much more to fuel consumption. So if you can reduce the fuel consumption by dependence on the rail sector, we'll be able to cut down our costs, while we'll be able to deliver the transport services at cheaper rates to many other, much more of our citizens. So we are looking at, we are expecting that government will look at public-private partnership with individuals, which we need an enabling law to project that. Enabling law in making sure that the freight system is prioritized. If you have a freight system, not only that it will pass through the rail, but we know that you are a go-to person, you are a go-to company in terms of telling you that set of people, they have their freight, they have their goods to be ferried from Sokoto to Ido in Lagos. How do we do that? Can you please help us? In doing that, it doesn't concern the service, the customers, how you move their goods. What concerns them is that you move their goods safely within this number of days. If you can move it with trail, with the train within the specified period, it's good and fine. All they will wake up to see is my goods are in Ido, in Lagos,
intact.
and they pick it up. So we are looking forward to PPP in a manner that will enable that we have people that are into freight and are linked to the railway sector, and we prioritize it by giving them either incentive or punitive measure for using our roads.
Okay, so Joshua, you mentioned that the Abuja rail system. So that was birthed during the Obasanjo administration. Up until now, a segment of it has been in effect for a little while. That's in around 2018, but then it stopped functioning. So the CCECC, that's the China company handling that, mentioned that it would be ready by May this year. That's 2024, May 2024. So how realistic is that it would be effective, it will be in full function by the year 2024, by the beginning of the year 2024?
Well, we compare their own definition of it will be ready and our own definition and our own expectation of it will be ready.
Okay.
Our expectation is a rail that cut across from Gwagwalada to Giri, from Giri to Airport Road, from Airport Road to Kubwa, from Kubwa back to probably Gwagwalada. But you agree with me that there is no rail track between these nodes. Their own expectation may be from airport to the finance junction, from finance junction then to the Idu yard. If it's only that, fine, it may be ready between now and 2024. It's very good and it's okay, but it doesn't serve the citizens of Abuja. It doesn't serve what the citizens of Abuja are expecting. Because if you look at the pattern of Abuja, we have the central area having the business hub of the business activities, and you have the other parts having the residential parts. So we need a transport system that can move people from the residential parts, from Mararaba to central area, from Gwagwalada to central area, from Lugbe, from Kubwa to central area, from Apo Mechanic Village to central area. If you can get that rail track, it will be reasonable and good for the nation.
So the particular Abuja light rail has like 6 slots. 6 lots. So the first one goes from Kukwaba to 1, Kukaba 2, Wupa, Idu, Basinjiwa, and the airport. Lot 2 goes to Gwaga via Transport Center in Nyanya Karu, all the way to Lot 4 goes to Kuje, to Karshi, and Lot 5 goes to Idu, that's Gwagwa, Dede, Kagini, and Bozongo. Lot 6 goes to Kuje and Gwagwalada. So it's like sort of all the way around.
Yes.
So if that's really what is expected by May 2024.
It may be, but I've not seen them laying that track. I've not cited any track being laid
around all
that. Apologies to their efforts. I've not seen that, except if the rail track is where we need
maybe
to.
Underground.
Yes, no, it's not underground. Maybe it's within the sectors that has not been opened up. Because if you look at Kuje to central area or to Idu industrial estate, you see that there are bush paths there. If possible, that would be good, because those bushy paths will be exposed to business activities more than what is obtainable now.
True.
But what I'm saying is that I have not seen it. Most people have not seen it in a manner that will enable them complete that within now and May 2024, or maybe May 2024 is still in pipeline. Maybe when we get to May 2024, we can still review the benchmark and get another
of
timeline.
How far they have gone.
Yes.
So, but at the end, at some point in 2021, there was no function. The rail stopped functioning because of the security issues. So Nigeria lost about 113 million as of that time. So how would you say that affected our year 2023?
It was a setback. The security issue was a setback, But instead of us dwelling much on what has happened, we should be proactive in solving the problem that it's on ground. The problem of insecurity, the problem of bandits looking at loss, what the activities level lost on the road, and trying to capture that back on the rail track. We should be looking at giving security to the rail track. Apart from giving security to the rail track, maybe we look at the drone surveillance and maybe the manned area surveillance of the rail track. Then we look at the vandalization control, so that we can at least sense, have a kind of feedback on track vandalization. So those are the security measures we are expecting that the Nigeria Railway Service will do, and I believe that experts on that field must have been invited to look at the security architecture in respect of the trail line and in respect of service delivery. It's quite unfortunate that we lost that huge amount of money.
Sure.
And the perspective of our citizens about rail track. But that setback shouldn't give us a good grant to jettison the rail transportation service.
So, Mr. Joshua, some of the reasons why the nation is not making as much revenue to the debt, that's the loan for the rail service, is mentioned that ticket selling. So the system is now going to be an e-ticketing system. So what do you think about the e-ticketing, and how effective do you think it would be in Nigeria?
The more you remove human intervention from any system, the better for you. The better you remove the corruption tendency there. Okay. So I commend the Nigeria Railway Service for making the e-ticketing service a good one, but going by what is obtainable in the airfare, I know that it may be open to agency, and when it's open to agency, we see bulk buying, and then bulk buying, then speculative selling. That means you wait till an hour before you increase the price, an hour to the trip before you increase the price, and the differential is going to the agent. So that's not a problem, but it's a good one, removing the human element. So if you can remove the human element, I believe that we can be better off for it. It's a good one, and we are looking forward to the bulk purchase between electronic purchase, that is using another name in buying a ticket, then reselling it to other passengers. That means I buy it in the name of Mr. A, then I'm selling it to unknown Mr. C. I bought the ticket at 10 naira, and I'm selling it to Mr. C at 30 naira. I'm making a gain of 20 naira. Wherever the profit is, so human activity will always move towards that side.
So is that how the e-ticketing would be? It would be sold to agencies and?
No, I'm not saying that it will be sold to that, but I'm still looking at what's the risks that maybe that can introduce to the system. That is buying by proxy to sell at a later time.
So why would you say that it would be better to narrow it down to something like our identification number, that's the NIN or our BVN, so that if this particular Mr. A buys it with his details and then he comes to board the plane with another details, he wouldn't be gaining entrance? Sure. So do you think the agency, the railway system should think towards that way?
That's a good one. We're still looking at a robust data management system from the government that will give us an opportunity of having our identification number. If you can use your identification number to buy it, it becomes yours.
Yes.
And you have to justify the reason why you are transferring it to any other person if you are transferring the ticket. And if you are transferring the ticket, you need to provide the identification number of the person you are transferring it to. If you are transferring it to Mr. C, provide the identification number, and that solves it.
Okay, that's really good, Mr. Joshua. Thank you for explaining that to us. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. We are discussing the pros and cons of our rail system. Don't go nowhere. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Welcome back from that break. We are discussing the pros and cons of rail system in Nigeria. And this is Business Focus. I'm here with Mr. Joshua. So, Mr. Joshua, as of 2022, Nigeria spent about 246 billion on rail servicing. That's from the DMO, that's the Debt Management Office. And also also 29.98 billion naira have been spent by the government on servicing the loan. That's the particular Kaduna to Edo section and Lagos to Ibadan section. So what's your thought on those numbers?
Yeah, that's scary because the return on investment is not really encouraging.
Sure.
Whatever investment you've placed in a project should be able to generate a returns that will cover up for that. I don't know the time lag they gave to the project to return its investments, but given that little returns on that investment within that short period, it will take a longer period before we will be able to cover that investment. And don't forget, we are still investing in the maintenance. Sure. We have some failed section of the rail track that is being recovered, and we have some other extension elements, extension distance that are being invested in. So the gains of it is that in a commendation to our government, they insisted that the rail sector should have its technology transfer from the Chinese, from the foreign guys to the Nigerian staff. That is around somewhere in Ido in Ibadan. Okay. In a Lagos Ibadan axis. So we have the production sector there. They are now positioned to produce the coach. They are positioned to produce the rail track. That's a technological gain to Nigeria, and that's a technological gain to all of us. So the gains in that sector is not quantifiable, but it is a good one. And we are looking for Ajaokuta Steel Rolling Company to come up, so that we will not have capital freight to outside Nigeria, so that we will not be buying our steel from elsewhere to come and put together on our rails. So the technological transfer should be able to cover up for this. So then we go into that Pareto 80-20 learning curve. Yes, we have spent a lot at that 80% learning period. Then we are going to gain it in the future by that 20%. We are going to gain it by reducing it by that 80% to get 20% investment sense in the coming period. So we should look at the gains. Nigeria is building a rail track now, which is costly in the sense that we have to import most of the elements, but in the long run, we are going to gain it by reducing the costs and getting value for that. I believe that the investment worth it, and I believe that if we can extend the rail track, and if we can reduce the insecurity, vandalization, and other factors militating against the railway sector, we'll be better off it.
Okay, so with those frightening figures I called, so one of which is 2.29 billion naira, the revenue to the loan exceeded 1,208.5% in the first half of 2023. So what's your assessment of that?
Well, there are a lot of things to be considered in terms of critical national infrastructure. Okay. I will classify rail track and the coach as a critical one. It's not really for the profits on that investment. Yes, we should be profit oriented, productivity oriented, but we should look at the impact on the nation. Let's imagine that Nigeria has no rail track in order to avoid this loan to debt servicing mess. Okay. If we are to do that, we won't make any progress. So let's just take a step. Then we look at fine-tuning our steps. We look at fine-tuning our steps around what is obtainable. yes, we are progressing in a wrong direction. Can we take that wrong direction back and then start a fresh track? Let's look at it. Let's call a stakeholders meeting that this debt to returns ratio is too low. Let us work on it. And if we are going to work on it, I believe that we should be able to call in many other investors, like private investors, like foreign partners, and like increasing the returns. That means increasing the ticketing, the sales of tickets, which I believe that government doesn't want to do, because government is not willing to scare people away from using the rail track. If you increase the cost of ticketing, it's definitely going to affect the patronage on the rail sector. So doing that, government has to keep it at a peg. If you are keeping it at a peg, then you just recover your costs. That means the cost of diesel, the cost of maintenance, and the cost of maybe security, personnel payments, and the likes. The variable cost, the direct cost, is what you are going to recover as of then. Immediately you recover that, then you leave the other profit margin to repayment of your capital costs. And like I told you, this is a critical national infrastructure, which we are not looking at the profit only. We are looking at the impact on the Nigerian nation and what we are going to gain from the technological transfer, not really the profits alone. So when we are considering the profits, when we are considering the loan servicing to returns, we should equally consider the benefits to the nation. We are looking at an expansion in a way that will benefit many other things. What I know is that other state governments will benefit. So it is in the best interest of state governments to benefit to key into that sector. If a regional state government doesn't key into it, what they are telling me is that we are losing the value added tax to Lagos, because you have no opportunity of telling me that deliver my goods in Niger State or deliver my goods in Kogi State, inland, in dry ports. If you are delivering my goods in Kogi State, the first value added tax is paid in Kogi State. That means if I'm importing 1 billion naira worth of goods, the value added tax on that 1 billion naira is paid to Kogi State first, and it's recorded in Kogi State. When it's recorded in Kogi State takes the large chunk of that VAT. So if you are not doing that, if you allow me to transport my goods from Lagos to Kogi State using the road, that means the first pot of value added tax is in Lagos. When it is in Lagos, you pay that value added tax in Lagos, not in Kogi, because you use the road. So it is in the best interest of the state government to support the rail track, to support the rail sector to functioning, to insist that the federal government make the rail sector functioning, because it will support our dry port system. Apart from supporting our dry port system, it will give us the opportunity of exporting. We have our free trade zone. So exporting from that free trade zone will be better off. We'll take the goods directly from free trade zone, then the VAT that is payable, all tax payable within that process will be for that state. The personnel costs will be for that state, and everything will be benefited by that state. So I believe that the rail sector has a lot of benefits to the subnational government and the citizen, apart from the citizen, to the perspective of the nation by the international world. Talk of inviting investors to Nigeria. If they feel that they can transport their goods from Apapa Wharf to, let's say, Nasarawa State by rail, they will have a kind of confidence. But if they are going to transport it using truck service, it may not give them that kind of sense of confidence. If you are going to transport heavy equipment, that's long and heavy equipment, from Apapa Wharf to, let's say, Nasarawa industrial hub, you have to use the rail. If you are going to use the rail, the rail must be on ground. If the rail is not on ground, the investors will not come. So we should be looking at that long-term benefits instead of the short-term loan repayments to the revenue generated on the rail services.
Okay, so talking about long-term and short-term, the petrol subsidy has been removed, and the government, the present administration, are talking about CNG buses. Don't you think for the federal direct investments to actually troop into the country, we need to key into that sector also as a means of transport for the country, for the whole of the country? Because this is critical. And if you have an upgraded or a very good version of the rail system functioning in Nigeria, you are definitely already calling on investors.
Yes.
So what do you think of that?
The rail sector is very, very critical to national development. We cannot rule away that. So we cannot just compare the quantitative aspect of debt servicing to the revenue generated with the qualitative aspect of what we are going to gain from it. We are going to invite much investors to our country if we can look at rail sector. So if we are looking at the rail sector, in order to distribute the wealth and redistribute the development pace, we need the rail sector. If you look at it, whether we like it or not, the coastal corridor will always have a kind of development over the much inner corridors. If we have that, the only way to break into the benefits of the coastal development is to make sure that the railway system is functioning rather than putting it into the trailer system. And you agree with me that the truck system has its own disadvantage. Sure. Because immediately you are moving from Lagos, you are moving to Ogun State, Oyo State, Kwara State, Niger State, and the other states. If you look at it, all states will want to benefit from what you are carrying. Sure. And that increases the cost of goods, increases the cost of freight, because Ogun State will see it like, you are passing through my road, pay what you need to pay to the local government, show me your ticket, show me this. Even at showing the complete ticketing structure, showing the complete documents, they will still tell you pay before you go. That gives a lot of scary increase in costs. So that can be beat. That you can beat that using the rail sector. So if you use the rail sector, it will benefit the larger interests, though it will not benefit the small truck owners, because that's what has been militating against the rail sector up till now. But we can call onto these people. Let us build a good rail structure. We are going to give you returns on the transport sector. We are going to give you the avenue of providing the freight services. If you provide the freight services, what you are going to lose in your truck services, you are going to gain it back in the rail sector. Sure. Then we'll be better off for it. Instead of sabotaging the rail system, they will be a partner in making the rail system work. Instead of seeing the rail system as a competitor to their transport service, they will see it as a complement to their transport service. And there is one other sector that the government can use in wooing the transport service providers. That is, rail sector cannot take goods from the wharf to your own home. Rail sector will rather take it from the wharf to a terminal. So from that terminal, trucks can take it off from that place. So if trucks are given that promises, I believe that they, instead of being a competitor, they will be a collaborator.
And that's really good for the country at the end, or at the long run. So, Mr. Joshua, as of last year, December, the president mentioned that there will be 50% of train rides. And between 24th and 26th December alone, about 63,000 passengers have been moved on those trains. So do you think this number is good enough compared to the number of people that actually travel at the end of the year?
Yes, it's good enough, but the policy is not, let me say, well planned off. Okay. If it were to be well planned off, it would have been announced like sometimes in November, and people will have prepared. Most people have bought their travel tickets. I mean their air tickets. So if they were aware that there will be 50% reduction, it will be good. But most people are they are determined to follow the rail. Apart from that, we look at perspective of our citizens about what rail system is. When the Kaduna Ido Kaduna rail insecurity issue happened, a lot of people lost their trust in
the
train services.
True.
So we should be looking at that. Apart from that, most people did not travel for the celebration,
True.
citing a lot of reasons, citing the purchasing power, citing the insecurity, and even citing let me be at peace within my own home. So those things, those factors are there. So it's not good, but we are expecting an improved system, and we are expecting a longer rail track so that it will cover up for people traveling from Abuja to Kano, people traveling from Abuja to Borno, from Abuja to many other states. Then we should be looking at other means of transportation. I may choose not to use the rail service. I may use the other road transport service providers.
Yes.
Because I want to see my usual Abuja Lokoja road.
Thank you for that, Mr. Joshua. That's the end of it because time is nobody's friend, as they say. This is Business Focus. We discuss the pros and cons of the Nigerian rail system with Mr. Joshua. And my name is Maria Adozakari. Have a good day and Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.